we go. Back for a bonus Christmas episode.
Yeah, we're
Have you
in
missed
that.
this?
Listen, man, it's been a fun time to do this podcast, and I've kind of missed it a little bit. And
Yeah.
people keep coming up and asking about it when we're going to do more, and so we're getting this bonus Christmas episode in.
Christmas.
It's all festive up in here.
I know. Our team did an amazing job getting us decorated.
They
for
got us
Christmas.
stockings over here. It's pretty great.
So again, not to timestamp this, but have you decorated your house? Like, are you good?
Yeah, we are officially post Thanksgiving, which means my wife allows us to decorate. We're kind of in different ends of that. Like, she's a Christmas, like, you can't do anything with Christmas until after Thanksgiving.
I would align with
and
that.
I'm cool with us like getting into it like right after Halloween. Like I'm in the mood for Christmas pretty early. But this year she actually let us set up the tree on Wednesday. So we actually put the tree up the day before Thanksgiving. And my kids were like, wow. So we're starting to watch movies and we're starting to get into it, and the house is getting decorated. But this is we're in a neighborhood that apparently has a Christmas house decorating contest.
Oh,
And so there's a day coming up where people actually vote. They like go through the neighborhood and they like vote on their favorite house decorations.
snap.
And I don't know if there are prizes or anything, and I don't really know who the competition is yet. I don't know that we're gonna be very competitive this year because we're a little unprepared. But I'm excited to be in a neighborhood where people are really in the Christmas spirit.
You strike me as the guy because you're technical, you're musical, and you're handy around your house. You could do the lighting to the music. Like, have you ever done that?
Here's the thing about that. Like, it costs to do that. You have to invest like thousands of dollars in the equipment to do that and control it and do it really well. I've seen it done extremely well. I've always wanted to be the house that's like the
I think you
destination
should do
house
it.
where people drive
I think
up.
you should do that.
So people want to start a GoFundMe to help decorate my house for
What
future
song?
Christmas.
What song would you use?
Uh,
Like, don't give me the Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
no, man.
Carol
I
the
think that
Bells.
I would do a bunch of
Those are
like
great
really fun, like Christmas, like soulful stuff. Like, I want to throw in some Donny Hathaway this Christmas.
All right.
Because I would want it to have a little bit of rhythm to it.
Yeah.
But I'm not opposed to like a jig like Christmas in Killarney or something fun like that. A little Bing Crosby, like, just puts you in a festive mood. I'm not entirely sure. I'm kind of making it up as I go. But I would love to be that house one day. That's like future goals.
All right. Well, I'm a little disappointed. Like, we chose to wear festive wear, and I thought for sure you would come in. I mean, you are wearing Packer green,
I am wearing green.
but I figured since the Steelers have been playing very ugly, that I would wear an ugly Christmas Steelers sweater to match.
Honestly, man, I thought about wearing Packers gear. I didn't want to rub it in your face.
Oh, yeah.
Last time we did this podcast, we had a little bit of a bet about the Steelers and Packers, and
That's season 2.
you lost that bet.
I did.
And I was grateful because I was getting ready to get roasted by our entire church if the Packers lost. But the Steelers did lose. Packers were victorious, and now you have to wear a Packers jersey to open season 2. I just happened. I didn't think we were doing the football thing, so I found something green to put on, and I feel good about my choice.
Yeah. Well, we were gonna do Christmas stuff, and I was like, I remembered I had this ugly Christmas Steelers sweater, and I'm like,
I think it
gotta
works. I think it's very festive.
gotta do that. Hey, I'm really excited. I mean, we're having fun, and I'm really excited because we are gonna do our first Mount Rushmore to kick things off. So I need you to be thinking we're each gonna do our Mount Rushmore favorite Christmas movies. So we'll get to that in a minute, but beyond that, we'll have some fun. I'm really excited about this episode, though. I love Christmas for a multitude of reasons, but especially as a church and as a pastor, I love that this season because it's the one time of the year when what's important to the world is also important to the church. And so we're going to have a conversation today, and it's going to be a bit geared towards church leaders, pastors, but about how and why we should leverage Christmas in our churches to reach the unchurched and lost. So I'm super pumped about that.
Yeah, this is a really great season of opportunity for people to experience and encounter the love of God, not just in tangible ways through like how we love our neighbors and love the people in our lives, but this is the season where people have the biggest appetite to connect to something deeper in the Christmas season. And so, Barna's done research. There's been other research out there that this is the time of year when people are most likely to accept an invitation to come to church,
Yep.
because the Christmas season is a time where people, again, like you said, culturally and spiritually, there's this thing happening where people begin to desire to be anchored to something deeper. And so it is really a fun time, but also really important time for us in the church to make sure that we're reaching people with the love of Jesus.
Yeah, and if your church, if you're not doing something to leverage in Christmas, I really believe you're missing out. And it doesn't matter whether you're a big church, small church. We talked about context. It doesn't matter what the context is.
Yeah.
This season is a great time for that. And then one of the things that we're both passionate about, because again, we're former creatives and worship people, so we know the strain that this season puts on a particular demographic in church leadership and ministry, and that is the creative department. We used to joke and sing, that's it's the most wonderful time of the year, and to a lot of worship and creative, it doesn't feel like it. It feels like
it's
the
a
most
lot of work.
exhausting time of the year.
It's a lot of work.
We want to bring some encouragement to those that are in the creative space. And even I'd like to say, there's probably some lead pastors that are listening to this that we can help say, hey, here are some ways that you can really encourage your creative staff during this busy season. Like, one, do a podcast real close to Chris. Sorry, Emma. Sorry, Kenny. Do as we say, not as we do, right?
Yeah.
But no. So can we do a Mount Rushmore of Christmas movies?
Yeah, man. So let's talk about the mechanics of this.
Ground rules.
All right. Hit me.
All right. Well, here's what I'm thinking. So Mount Rushmore are top 4 favorite Christmas movies.
Our favorite, personal favorite.
Favorite. So these are personal favorites.
Our
So,
Rushmore. Yep.
yes, we're not going to say this is just me and you personally, because obviously our wives would have a separate 4. This is just for you and I. But what we're going to do is ask the listening audience or viewing audience to vote on whose list is better, mine or yours. And we need to do a snake draft. So we're each going to draft 4 movies, and whoever gets the first pick, the next person will draft 2.
Okay.
We know what snake draft is.
Yeah. So, but if you pick a movie, I can't pick that movie.
Yeah. Once a movie is off,
Okay.
you can't pick it. I feel like I need to defer to you, since I'm going to go back to football, but since the Packers beat the Steelers, I yield
It's
to
good
you.
for you to acknowledge that. Yeah.
Whether you would like to take the first pick or defer to the second half and go.
Yeah,
with
I'm going to
picks.
kick off. I'm going to let you
Oh.
be first pick.
You're going to give me the first pick.
I'm going to give you the first pick because I feel
Darn
like
you, Spencer.
I feel like I have a couple of options. Although we've talked about favorite Christmas movies before, I think your favorite Christmas movie is my favorite Christmas movie. So it's a bit of a risk for me to let you make the first choice, but I'd rather get the next 2.
Okay, here we go. With the number 1 selection of the Mount Rushmore Alan and Spencer Christmas movie, I am going to select National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Yes!
Sorry, Sparky.
Oh man, that's a tough one. I actually thought you were going to go with something else.
Oh,
and so
really?
I'm okay with that choice because that was going to be one of my top picks. I love Christmas Vacation. It's an annual watch for us. It is absolutely funny, and in fact, as you joked about, my wife one day, almost 10 years ago, we were watching Christmas Vacation, and she just decided she's going to start calling me Sparky, because that's what Clark's called in the movie by his wife. And so ever since then,
Real nice, Clark.
At least on
Real nice.
there's so many quotes I can't say on the podcast.
So
but,
many.
it's so good. It's absolutely good.
What year was that movie?
Mid to late
80s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I've watched it my entire life, and it's so good. That's a good choice, man. That's up there. That's definitely would have been on my Rushmore if we weren't doing the stake draft rules.
Have you seen a picture of Chevy Chase lately?
I mean, he
Like,
is 40 years older than he was in that movie. So yeah,
it's just amazing. Like, that movie came on TV the other day, and it's just one of those things, like, it's always on this time of year,
yeah,
but you stop to watch it and it never gets old. But Tara and I were just like, oh my goodness, like, okay, it's mid 80s,
yeah,
yeah, 40 years ago.
yeah.
That is crazy.
It's
So
That's a great choice, man. And
I'm going.
I'm kind of regretting that I didn't take the first pick. But the movie I thought you were going to
Okay,
choose, and the reason that
here we go.
I was considering, whether or not I should go first is It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, yes. We talked about
It's a
that the other
Wonderful
day.
Life, which I thought you said was your favorite one. So I love It's a Wonderful Life. I think that is one of the best movies, period. Not
Oh,
just Christmas. I think it's just a
wow.
phenomenal movie, period. And Jimmy Stewart's just outstanding
It's
in
a
it.
great
A
movie.
lot of great deep meaning, and I feel like every time I watch it, like I just like it changes me a little bit. Like I'm more aware of like the good things I have,
I
and I'm more
feel like
grateful.
I feel like you're going with the sentimental, like, that's like a safe,
Well, I was gonna
broader.
go with Christmas Vacation, but you chose it.
Sorry,
And
that is
so
a Wonderful Life is a great pick.
yeah, It's a Wonderful Life is it's just a phenomenal movie, and I watch it every year, and it's a favorite of mine. And there's a lot of preaching content in that one as well.
There is.
I'm gonna hit you quickly with my second pick.
Okay. I feel like this is gonna be a complete curveball. Like, he's
The Muppets Christmas Carol.
I for some reason, when I was looking at movies, I was like, that could be one.
Listen, that movie, number one, A Christmas Carol is like one of the greatest Christmas stories of all time. Like Charles Dickens basically invented Christmas in
Yeah.
the modern sense because of A Christmas Carol. And it's so good and so rich. And there's so many versions of A Christmas Carol. And yet the Muppet Christmas Carol is probably the best adaptation of that story. And Michael Caine is just incredible. It's probably his best movie performance ever.
Is
And he's
that
surrounded by Muppets. He's just surrounded by Muppets, but he doesn't know he's in a Muppet movie. He's so serious in the whole thing.
Do your
Uh,
kids like that movie? Do
yeah,
the girls like it?
we got him to a couple years ago to watch it, and so it's something that as we kind of watch Christmas movies a lot throughout the season,
Yeah.
and that's one that's definitely gonna hit. No cheeses for us meeses. Like, we're gonna
Okay.
we're gonna watch that for sure this season. But I don't think a Christmas can go by without a watch of the Muppets Christmas Carol. So that's my second pick.
All right. So Spencer right now has It's a Wonderful Life, pick one. Muppets Christmas Carol 2. My first pick was Christmas Vacation. So coming in second. So I'm picking the second and third, right? Or are we going?
Yeah. You get
I get
two
two here.
picks.
All right. Don't be looking at my list, man. He's cheating. I saw
I
that.
have my
Freaking
list.
cheating down here.
I have
All
my
right.
list to choose from.
Man, these are all comedies. I'm trying to think, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm going Elf. I'm going Elf.
Okay.
Will Ferrell. Like, it's
a great one.
It's another one that never gets old. We're actually watching that. I think we're watching. Are we watching that?
Yeah, we're doing like a staff Christmas
Staff
party.
Christmas
and we're watching
party,
Elf.
and we're gonna watch Elf.
Yeah, that's our Christmas Eve watch. Every Christmas Eve we watch Elf.
Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's a great one.
all right.
And one of the funniest Christmas movies you can possibly watch. So good choice.
All right. This one is people, because I'm not picking this for the viewing audience, like, to win. I'm picking this because it genuinely is one of my favorites. And it's, I think, one of the most underrated Christmas movies of all time. Are you ready?
I am ready.
The Preacher's Wife.
I thought about The Preacher's Wife.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Whitney.
So
Whitney. Are you?
good.
I'm assuming you're talking about Whitney Houston.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not the
Yeah.
old one.
Yeah.
I'm talking Denzel, Whitney Houston, Lionel
Yeah.
Richie makes a
Oh
cameo.
my gosh.
Like, the music in it.
Courtney B. Vance is in that movie, I believe. Yeah.
I mean, you get humor, you get sentiment, you get great music, you get Whitney Houston.
Yeah,
so
peak
underrated
peak of
as a
her
Christmas.
powers, yeah.
So underrated as a Christmas movie. Have your family watched that
I
one?
think we've watched it once or twice. It's not a part of our regular watch. I don't think it
It's
shows up a lot
forgotten.
on, like, streaming services, which is where we kinda dance around and find stuff now that we don't play DVDs a ton, but,
That's
that's a
when
good choice.
she sings, is it I Believe in
I wasn't gonna put that on my Rushmore, but it's definitely worthy of a place, yeah.
all right.
I didn't think you were gonna go there, man. Okay.
Yeah, okay. All right, so you have, you get the next 2 picks.
Next 2 picks. Okay. Man, so I oh, there's a lot of options still on the table for me, but the thing is, I think I'm sure we'll get a chance to talk about some honorable mentions and stuff, but,
Yeah.
like, there's some movies that I love this time of year, but I wouldn't put them in my Rushmore. I think my 3rd selection, this is one that, this is one we just watched, and it's not the happiest movie, but it was really
Okay.
powerful, and I remembered, like, it's a really good Christmas movie for me.
Die Hard.
It's not Die Hard, although I am of the opinion that it's a Christmas movie.
I'm with you.
And it's as much of a Christmas movie as It's a Wonderful Life, in my
Yeah,
opinion. So,
I'm sure
um,
that'll come up, but
the
go ahead.
uh,
Sorry.
the one I'm going to choose is The Family Stone.
Oh.
So, The Family Stone, we just watched this movie recently, and it's a movie
It's a
that
hard movie to
it's a
watch.
hard movie to watch, and especially it's about a family coming together, a family that's very close and loves each other, but they're coming together, and you kind of find out early in the movie that the mother is terminally ill, and it's just it's about all the emotions that go
Diane
into that.
Keaton? Is it Diane Keaton?
Diane Keaton, who just
Yeah,
recently
just
passed
recently
away.
passed.
It is a stacked cast of people, but it's a movie that it's about family and it's about the dynamics of family. It's about grief and loss, and I think for me, like one of the things about Christmas that we are leaning into a little bit this season with our Advent series, but one of the things about Christmas that people miss is that it's a heavy time too.
Yeah.
It's not always the most wonderful time of the year for anybody. Like there's a lot of heaviness. There's grief. It's December. It's winter. Like it could be a heavy time. And so just like we need like Psalms of celebration and Psalms of lament, it's kind of a Christmas movie of lament. And I think as someone who lost their parents young, like there's something that resonates with me.
Mhm.
And every single time there's a couple scenes in it where um the adult children are wrestling with kind of their grief and um their helplessness
Mhm.
with their mother's terminal condition, and I resonate with that, and it resonates in like a hard way but a healthy way. And so just I probably wouldn't have picked that if we didn't just watch it this weekend, but like that's one
Okay.
that just really I find very meaningful, and it's really well acted.
Yeah,
It's a great cast.
some of those arguments, you're sitting there and you feel like you are a part of the family in the kitchen,
You've been there, yeah.
and
Yeah.
it is that, like, it's that weird tension of, like, it's Christmas and it should be I don't feel happy, but
Yeah.
your point is valid that it's a season where not every family is experiencing joy.
Yeah.
So, great pick.
Yeah. So my final pick, and
There we go, number 4.
this is for me, but this is my Christmas Day watch every year.
Okay.
It is The Lord of the Rings, Peter Jackson. And people may not realize that that's a Christmas movie. You may be like, that's not Christmas. But here's the thing. Tolkien wrote that when the Fellowship is formed and they depart from Rivendell on the adventure to destroy the One Ring, that date is December 25th. And so on December 25th, after we do our breakfast and we do our family time and we do presents and everything, and kind of the hustle and bustle of the morning fades into the kids kind of playing with
Yeah.
stuff and doing stuff, Beth going back to bed. Like I pull up on the couch and I start the Fellowship of the Ring and I watch my way over Christmas break through the Lord of the Rings. Cause for me, that's a Christmas story.
How many of those movies are there?
Well, The Lord of the Rings is 3, and
Okay.
then
I know there's
yeah,
like The
obviously,
Hobbit.
but here's the thing. I'm gonna try something new this year. I just saw this on social media. A guy recommended a way that he watches Lord of the Rings that I actually thought was brilliant, and I'm gonna try
Okay.
it this year. Is there's a thing called machete order when it comes to Star Wars, where you watch it in a certain order where the narrative stories kind of fall together in a different way. and I'm not gonna take time to explain it now, but go Google it, Machete Order Star Wars. Well, this guy,
I
it's
feel like we have gone
yeah,
like
but this guy
this is a
recommends
Reddit podcast now.
yes. But this guy recommends a similar thing for Lord of the Rings that I've never thought of, but it's the idea of watching the Fellowship of the Ring up until the point that Frodo, the main character, reconnects with Bilbo, who is the main
Okay.
character of The Hobbit,
Yeah.
and reconnects with him in Rivendell. And then Frodo asks, they're having a conversation about Bilbo's ring. And then somebody in the room says, well, how did Bilbo get the ring? And then you pause it there. And then you go and watch The Hobbit to get the story of how the ring came to Bilbo.
I see.
But not the Hobbit films by Peter Jackson, that trilogy, but actually the old school Rankin and Bass Hobbit cartoon movie from like 40, 50 years ago, which is just
So it's kind of like
a
entering
fever dream of craziness. But
kind of like entering flashbacks.
yeah, it's like
into
doing an
it.
extended flashback to get the story. And then once you get to the end of that movie, then you get to pick up with the Fellowship departing Rivendell and going forward. So I'm going to do that this year. Maybe someone else here who's a listener wants to try it. Those are my 4.
Okay. So you have It's a Wonderful Life, Muppets Christmas Carol, Family Stone, and Lord of the Rings. I have one more pick left.
I know what this is going to be.
You do. All right. This one is my wife and I's. It's probably our, like, if we want to laugh. I mean, Elf is funny. It's a more recent one, even though it's still old. I'm going Four Christmases.
4 Christmases. I knew you were going to
Four
pick that.
Christmases. Like, I keep wanting to say
Reese Witherspoon, Vince Vaughn, a bunch of other folks.
Like we watched this over Thanksgiving with our extended family. And I mean, there's so many good scenes in this. Of course, if people haven't watched it, it's Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon. And again, this isn't a promotion of all of the morals of the movie, but they end up, normally they vacation every Christmas, so they don't have to deal with family drama because they come from 2 dysfunctional families. And then due to bad weather, they can't go to Fiji. And so they end up having 4 Christmases with each of their parents, and each one is absolutely hysterical, especially when they go to church on Christmas Eve. And that's all I'm going to say. So my 4, Christmas Vacation, Elf, The Preacher's Wife, and 4 Christmases. Your 4, It's a Wonderful Life, Muppets Christmas Carol, Family Stone, Lord of the Rings. So here's where we need the audience to vote. If you were going with Team Spencer or Team Allen on that, let's throw out some honorable mentions. Which is one that you had a hard time leaving off of that list?
Yeah, well, first of all, the only movie that I didn't get in my top 4 that I came in wanting to get was Christmas Vacation. So that probably would have taken the space of Family Stone. But White Christmas is a watch every year. That's a classic Christmas movie.
That's my wife's favorite.
But I would just say, like, I love that movie. It wasn't in my top 4. Another one I considered between this and The Family Stone was The Holiday.
Yeah.
That's like a rom-com I really enjoy. Jack Black's in it, Kate Winslet's in it.
I knew you were a rom-com guy.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
But I really like that one. I think
most
that's
Packer fans are. No one mentioned Home Alone. Like,
yeah, Home Alone's great. That's an annual watch for our family.
I
It
can't
just
put
didn't
it.
quite make it
Yeah.
into my
And we
my
both
list.
agreed, Die Hard.
Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Batman Returns is a Christmas movie.
So it's interesting you say that. So I did some Googling and I looked up Rotten Tomatoes top 100 Christmas movies. And all those were on there. So I'm like, Die Hard,
Yeah, for sure.
Batman, Gremlins.
Oh, Gremlins is another one I thought of. Yeah.
So like all of those Rotten Tomatoes considers Christmas movies as well. So one of the movies, I didn't put this on our list. It would have fallen in the Lord of the Rings category. The Hannah House tradition, and when our daughter comes home, we wait till she gets here to do this, is we watch the Harry Potter series. And so like that's working through all 7 of those movies.
Yeah, we usually do that around Thanksgiving, do like a marathon, and we didn't do that this year. My kids are like kind of in the they're fighting that are they too old to watch Harry Potter? But they're not. They're just in that phase where they need to grow up a little bit more to be like, oh yeah, Harry Potter, I want to watch that again. But,
all right,
great
so
great series.
Before we get to the meat of this, I have to ask, because we were just like music. If you're on a desert island, Christmas time, you can only listen to one Christmas album. One Christmas album. What is it?
One Christmas, well, album's tough because I don't know that there's a ton of like complete Christmas albums that I love.
Yes, there is.
But
I'm setting you up. Yes, there is.
man, I don't know.
He's picking Mariah Carey.
It's definitely not Mariah.
She's unfold.
My favorite,
She's on ice, like the
my
memes.
favorite Christmas album of the last couple of years that I listened to like nonstop throughout the season it's a band called the Oh Hellos, and they have a family Christmas album, the Oh Hellos Family Christmas. It's only like 20-25 minutes.
Okay.
It's kind of like a folk, indie folk, like, but they do 4 movements, and it's basically like 25 minutes of uninterrupted like Christmas music that's really well done by a band that's really great musicians, and I love that album. So I'm gonna choose that just because I can't think of a complete Christmas album I love more than that.
Here's the problem in doing this with Spencer. I feel so surfacey because, like, when we talk movies and music, he goes down these levels. I'm like, I'm just like, chocolate, vanilla, strawberry. That's it. He's ordering Rocky Road with, like, the latte thing you were talking about earlier.
Oh yeah, man. I listen.
Your
I have a Christmas latte I invented downstairs
from the well.
At the
Go
well.
ahead.
Yeah.
You ordered it last night. What is it?
Yeah. Well, I'm not usually a sweet like latte guy, a flavored latte guy, but like I wanted something, and I asked what syrups they had. They named a couple, but one of the things he had was a smoky simple syrup, and then he had some pine essential oil. And I said, throw that together in a latte for me. And then he gave it to me, and it's actually fantastic. It tastes like I'm walking through some Christmas woods. It was fantastic. So I'm calling it the Fangorn Forest after the Lord of the Rings. You should try it sometime, everybody. Just order the Fangorn latte.
All right.
That's
Well,
where some of the Ents lived, Alan.
okay. To answer the question, if you're stuck on a deserted island, it's the Boyz II Men Christmas album.
That's a good one.
Like that. I
That
mean,
is a good one.
from the first to the last song. All right. Anyway, we digress. Let's talk Christmas. As far
We
as
have been talking Christmas.
as
You talk
far
about-
as
yeah,
as far as it
life in the
being-
church. Yeah.
it being, I really think it is the most significant time of the year for churches to leverage that season to reach the lost, unchurched people. I mentioned it earlier, like there aren't many moments. I would argue, I'm trying to think of another time of the calendar when what's important to the world is also important to the church. Like, just think, like, you go to Target, you go to the mall, and they are singing theology.
Yeah.
Like, they're singing about Jesus. Like, the atheist knows lyrics that have great theology. Like, even, I'm not saying that from a theological or biblical perspective, Christmas is more important than Easter. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying, like, from a calendar standpoint, like Easter, while there are unchurched people who may come in at Easter, they know what they're getting. But at Christmas, it seems like people's hearts, even the hardest of hearts, are open to singing songs.
Yeah, even
that
the
declare who Christ
symbolism
is.
and the pageantry around Christmas from a
Yeah.
cultural lens really overlaps with the church, which just makes it really easy. It's about as accessible a season as there can be, for sure.
So what I thought we would do, like, having just a personal history, why I'm so passionate about it. We do this here at ACAC, but previous churches I was at, I think if you're a pastor, if you're a church and you're not leveraging the Christmas season, especially Christmas Eve and around that time, to reach your community, to reach your neighbors, to give your congregation an opportunity to invite people not from other churches, but people who don't know Jesus into your church, man, you're missing a huge opportunity. So I wrote down, like, a few strategic principles, like things to be an encouragement. So, like, if you're a pastor listening to this, or you've never considered doing something for your community or an opportunity for your congregation to invite just some encouragement in. So I'm going to throw some of those at you. We'll just
Yeah.
dialogue on these. One, it's to design an event. This is really big. Design an event for community, not your church members.
Yeah. That's a big deal. And that's not to say we don't want our church members, participants to have a really meaningful experience. It's just that's not who is chiefly in mind for that event, because what we're trying to do is create space for people who don't normally come and worship to be invited to experience the presence of God and the love of God in Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and I know this is hard for some people to hear because even here at ACAC, like, while we do this, we'll do 8 gatherings. It's called Christmas in the City here, and we're not the only church that does this. Many churches do, but again, to challenge those who may never thought about this, for some, that's hard to people to hear. Well, what do you mean? You're gonna emphasize and you're gonna plan a gathering that's more for the unchurched than it is the church and your members. Let me dive into it and explain. Again, I think a lot of churches, well, let me just make it we do not try to do a Christmas Eve service that is just for our church people. Like, again, as you said, we want most of our church people come, but most of our church people, in fact, last year, like 75% of the people, I may be a little off on that, but it was more than 50%. Most of the guests who came, or at least half of them, were invited by someone and they didn't come to church here.
Yeah.
So to do that, though, you have to intentionally craft a gathering that is geared or be thinking about those who are in the room. And I just think it's so important. Like, if you're just planning a quiet, soft, little service for your church people, you're missing an incredible opportunity to invite your neighbor.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's important to know about that is that doesn't mean that any of the content is like not honoring of Jesus. Like we're not,
It's all,
it's all honoring Jesus. Like, and also it doesn't mean that some of the very traditional things that you may want to do in a Christmas worship service can't be done. People want to come and sing Silent Night holding candles.
Yeah.
Like
And we do that.
That's something people want to experience, whether they're churched or not churched. And so, yeah, but you want to build the experience with your eye on those who may not be used to coming and having a worship experience. And so you're creating handlebars for people to grab onto, by things like your song selection, by the experiences that you try to create, even what's happening before people get in the room, like, whether it's in your parking lot or in, the spaces where people are fellowshipping or like hanging out before the service. And so, I mean, like, the different choices that you make there just are being welcoming and inviting to people who may never have shown up to your church before, and you're inviting them into an experience for them.
Yeah, like getting really practical, and language matters. And so I go out of my way, or I'm intentional when we communicate about our gatherings is not calling them services. Because when you label it a service, that comes with a certain amount of expectations. Although there are service elements, the gospel is presented at all of these gatherings. Jesus is honored and glorified in that. But we do take some creative freedom and liberty to connect with those who normally don't go to church or who aren't believers. And so how we tend to do it, and what I think is really helpful, is to flip it to where you're rethinking that Christmas gathering through the lens of those who normally aren't walking through your door. And again, that's not just the songs that you sing, but it's how you communicate. It's all of the hospitality, and making it an easy on-ramp for people in your church. Say, hey, invite that person who you're on the school board with. Invite that person who is the parent of your kids on your kids' sports team, because we're going to make this really easy. We're going to sing songs that they can sing along with. We're going to sing famous Christmas carols. And one of the things I talk about our team with, especially, and I'm going to get into some specifics with the programming, but what we hope to do is when people come in, There's a bit of a wow that we want to have we singing joy to the world, and we may use extra creativity. We'll talk about this in a moment with dance or video or special lighting. Like there's an all factor that is really a part of what Christmas is. Like people want that, and we're used to experiencing that. But then about halfway through, and our pastor Christian does this so well, and our team does this well, where all of a sudden their walls are down, if you will, and they're
Yeah.
singing Christmas songs. All of a sudden it shifts into this worship moment. I'll never forget a couple years ago, our team did this. They were singing, I don't forget the Christmas song it was, and they like transitioned into Holy Forever. And the next thing you know, I mean, it was as powerful as a worship moment that we would have on any given weekend. And then you have people that leave. And what I love to hear, and I hear this feedback, is someone who doesn't go to church or they're unchurched, they leave and they're not saying, wow, that dancer was amazing. Oh, that band was awesome. I mean, they may talk about that, but what they leave going, I don't know what happened in the middle there.
Yeah.
I don't know what that moment was.
Yeah.
But it hit me square in the chest, and there was something powerful. And we know that is the presence of God. So
Yeah.
I just think it's an amazing opportunity. But you have to think about it in terms of your community and your neighbors who are unchurched, not solely just reaching your church people.
Yeah, and so it's really important. I mean, we want to do this throughout the year on, the rest of the year too, but especially on Christmas when you know you're going to have such an opportunity to have so many visitors. You have to ask the questions of like, what are the hurdles? What are the stumbling blocks for visitors to come in? So whether it's like your parking or your signage or the way that you're engaging with people as they're coming through your building and invited into your space, how you help people find seating, and you want to try to lower the bar, like in terms of you want to raise the bar, but like lower the accessibility to making sure that everything you do is actually inviting people a little further in and deeper into the experience that you're crafting for them.
Yeah. And, oftentimes, again, we talked about this some in the last episode. It has nothing to do with budget. It has nothing to do with church size, or even context. And what I mean by that is here's the second encouragement that I would give. It's lean on your church's strengths. Like lean on your staff's strengths. Whatever that may be. Every church is different. For some churches, you may have great musicians. And so lean on those musicians to play awesome music. For some churches, they may have great people who do dance or do rap or spoken word, or you may have somebody in your congregation that can tell amazing stories on video. And so whatever that may be, your church could be great at hospitality or have cooking cookies or baking items, whatever it is. Like lean into your strengths. Don't try to do what Joe Blow's church does down the street, but like look internally. How has God blessed you and gifted you as a congregation, and lean into that and do
Yeah.
it at your church for Christmas.
Yeah. And I think that also can be, um, it doesn't have to necessarily look like a traditional kind of Christmas service or even like a Christmas event. Like it could be, um, something that our church did one time, and when I was in PA previously, as we had a kind of an old historic church building, but had one of the oldest and biggest organs in town, and it rarely was used. But we found an organist on a Friday night. There was a Christmas festival happening downtown, and we were in close proximity. And they worked with us, and we had a night where someone came and played Christmas carols on the organ,
Oh, that's
and
cool.
people showed up. I was shocked at the amount of people that showed up to sing.
Wow.
And and then what we did is we just let people sing for 30-45 minutes, carols on the organ, and then have that experience. And
That's
then
a great idea.
we handed them candles and had them walk out from our spot down to the festival that was happening a block away, and then sing carols and lead the crowd in carols down there. And it was just a really beautiful moment. It didn't cost a dime.
No.
It didn't cost a dime, and it was such a powerful Christmas moment for people because people, like, they see it in the movies, those, like, carol sings
Yeah.
out in the streets, and we just got to create that experience for them because we were in a proximity to, like, be able to do that in a cool way, and we just thought, "What do we have? We have an organ that we don't have a reason to use for anything else.
Man, that is such a great idea.
Let's just do that." Or, like, if you have a really great, uh you have great kids ministry and
Mhm.
volunteers, like doing an event for families that just makes it special for families around the season. It doesn't have to be a worshipful oriented experience. It can be something that takes advantage of the strengths that you have. Again, whether it's hospitality or a unique ministry that you offer. If you have a bunch of people that love to cook, like, make Christmas cookies and hand them out to people.
Yep.
Like whatever it is, like, but take advantage of this season because, again, it's the best opportunity that you have all year to engage your neighbors.
What I love about that example you gave is that it really emphasizes quality over quantity.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't try to do a ton of things.
Yeah.
You picked one thing and did it really well.
Yeah.
And like again, I'm beating a dead horse here, but like Christmas is the time when people go to things like
Mhm.
in the community, like they go hear an orchestra, or they'll go to a church service. If you do an event, light up the night in the
Yeah.
communities, like again, I look at this as the world gets it, the community gets it, the city gets it. The Church of Jesus Christ should be leading the way, especially in a season where we're celebrating our Savior's birth. So
Yeah.
I think it's just really important. Again, just lean on your strengths. This is big for us because former creatives, I would suggest to people to be creative and involve your most creative people. Like, if you're listening to this and you know you're not creative, I'm just going to be the one to tell you because your staff's thinking it. You should not be planning it. Like,
Yeah.
lean on your creative people. Like, and every church has creative people. You have musicians, you have artists, you have hospitality, decorators, but lean on them. Again, I'm so passionate, and I know you are too, about the church leading the way on creativity.
Yeah.
One of my favorite stories in the Bible, and I sound like a broken record, but I think it's Exodus 31. Bezalel, who God gifted to Moses. He was gifted, the Bible says, in craftsmanship and arts. And one of the lines I love from that chapter is that he was not only gifted in the arts, but he was filled with the Spirit of
Filled
God.
with the Spirit.
And God gave him to Moses and to the people for the tabernacle of God. And there are Bezalels in our congregation that are gifted artists, gifted in creativity. But when you combine that giftedness with the filling of the Spirit of God, man, like, it's a
Yeah.
wonderful life.
And
Can't compete with that.
yeah. And people who are creative, like, they long for that kind of empowerment. And so I've been really enjoying here just seeing our team who, like, they're starting to dream early. Like, I
Yep.
even before the first official meeting, which was in July,
Yeah.
um, there's ideas being percolating, and so, um, there were several months where it was just like ideas. Let's just generate ideas. Let's not say no to anything yet. Let's just generate ideas and involve different types of people who are thinking different types of things, and
Hmm.
some good ideas surfaced, and then you begin to see, like, there's some themes that we can kind of coalesce around, and then for the past couple months, they've really been baking those things into the plans, and now we have plans for our Christmas in the City event that it's really allowing your creatives to do what they do and giving space and permission for those things. So I found, actually, for me, um, the best thing I can do as, like, on the kind of senior leadership team is saying yes. Like,
Hmm.
being able to just go, like, when someone comes and asks, "Hey, do you think we can?" Yes.
Yeah.
Like, "We trust you, like, we wanna empower you." And I love creativity. I wanted to get in the weeds as much as possible, but really, we have tons of creative people that's like, "Hey, like, I just want you to run in your gifts," and what they've developed has been really, really good, and I'm excited for that. And I think in every church, there are people who are creative in ways that if you can just get them around, like, I'd find writers,
Yeah.
or I'd find, you know, maybe some non-traditional, like, church musicians, or
Hmm.
how can we engage with you? people we had a guy in our last church in Colorado who was just brilliant with like set designs and stuff. And I remember I gave him a lot of yeses.
Mhm.
I mean, there were a couple things where I'd be
There's
like,
guardrails.
yeah, there's
You always
guardrails. It
put
needs to be
guardrails.
this way, like maybe not do that. But like for the most part, I was like, well, just go for it.
Yeah.
And just to see him come alive when he had like the permission to like actually like do what he had in mind, do what he was dreaming of, man, we had some incredible things. Like our church didn't have a lot of like things like that to offer in terms of resources and
Mhm.
events type stuff. But man, we could craft a space really well. And it was because we gave permission to some people to run in their creativity.
Yeah, I'd also like just a couple things to piggyback off. If if you're a pastor and you're listening to this, just a couple words of wisdom from mistakes that I have made as well. Like I love what you said about saying yes and trying things. Like as a pastor, we need to take faith-filled risks. When we began this, when I came here to ACAC, this wasn't necessarily the culture for Christmas time. I would say it was more of a traditional Christmas Eve service that was geared toward its members. And so it was a philosophical shift for us to do that. And so I began, and this is what I recommend, I had that conversation with our elders, our board, say, hey, I had to get them on board and sell them on the vision, which they were. And then that first year we did it, and Emma and Kenny were like, we tried some things that we weren't ready for.
Yeah.
like the inbox was full with people
Yeah.
are like, what is this? But we listened and we learned from
Yeah.
that. But we said yes, and we came back, and now like we've dialed it in, and it's fantastic. The other thing you said that's really important is you do have to start early.
Yeah.
Like if you're hearing this now and go, yeah, this is a great time.
Next year.
Next year would be
Yeah.
a great time for you to do this.
Yeah.
But it's so important. And for some creatives, that's hard because they want to wait till the last minute. But you're right. Like we begin having these conversations in July.
Yeah.
And oftentimes
We're
like,
debriefing what worked, what didn't work in January. Yeah.
And I'll speak to a theme. Like I did that this past year. I said, hey, here's a scripture. We're going to use John this year and this idea of light. But then I let the team roll with it. So find
Yeah.
your creative people. And the only thing I'd say too, like again, because I always want to be sensitive to this, because sometimes in the Christmas season you see like the larger churches, you see the reels and the lights and all of that. As a smaller church, you have things and you can lean into things that we can't. Like your intimacy and knowing everyone's name
Yeah.
is like I wish we had that during the Christmas season. And so this isn't about the size of your budget or the size of your church. It's just about leveraging your strengths to reach people that you normally wouldn't reach.
Yeah. And if I could just maybe encourage, like from a creative standpoint, if you're a church that hasn't thought very creatively about how you approach Christmas, something that I would recommend is just take a step back and begin to look at opportunity. What are the opportunities there? And so where are the gaps when it comes to how your neighborhood or how your community celebrates Christmas? Like don't schedule an event when the city's celebrating Christmas in a big way somewhere else, or if a ton of churches are having Christmas services on this day or this time, maybe aim for another time because there's people who are looking to engage that maybe aren't available. I remember one of the things when I was a worship pastor, one of the things that we did is we actually had we had traditional Christmas services and contemporary Christmas services. There was like 7-8 services and they all looked different, which was hard. It was hard.
Man, that's a lot of work.
That
I
was a
gonna
lot of
say.
work. But the contemporary services were the lowest attended services because when it came to Christmas, this church was so good. We had great contemporary worship, but the church did such a good job with its traditional kind of blowout Christmas service with the horns and the choir, and that like people wanted to go to that. They didn't want to come to the contemporary service, but we still had people that had an appetite for something different that was not that traditional style. And so, what we recognized is we were in an area where there were a lot of people that came from like a Catholic background. They were used to like midnight masses.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I got permission to do is to instead of doing our contemporary service that people weren't engaging with, we did an 11 p.m. Christmas Eve service, and it was low key, and it was like
It hit a niche.
but it became one of the most popular services.
Our production team
Oh
is
yeah, they're
going.
already shaking their
They're
heads.
like, do not get
No,
any
I'm not
ideas.
recommending that here. We've already got Christmas
We
in the
won't be
City
doing
on 'em.
it.
But it became something where we saw a gap and said, there's an opportunity here for people who may no longer worship in the Catholic Church, but or miss some of those traditions. And so we did that at midnight. Where like we end the service at midnight and Christmas morning, and being able to say Merry Christmas, and it was really powerful. We had it in the round, and it just became a really popular service. But we saw opportunities, and then looked at what are our strengths. How can we actually fill gaps with what we bring to the table, and creatively engage that, and it ended up being a really
Yeah.
successful
There's no
experience.
one size fits all.
Yeah.
Just whatever you do it with excellence
Yeah.
and do it well and lean into your gifts. Our team does a really good job at this next one. A recommendation I would give is giving your congregation invitational tools. There is not a better marketing strategy than your church people inviting someone else.
Yep.
Like, honestly, don't worry about wasting, and I say wasting money, but the Facebook ads or Instagram ads, and I'm not, there's newspaper ads, and there's a time and place for all of that. But if you're listening to this and going, I don't have money to do it, don't worry about it. Like, the best thing you can do is to give your congregation, like, just print something. Like, a printed invitation card in 2025 is still very relevant, if not the most relevant tool you can give your church.
Yeah, the most effective marketing is word of mouth. It always has been, always will be.
Yeah.
And so having your people make personal invitations, even them making invitations on their own social media accounts, whatever, but certainly like face-to-face invites of people, they work with, their neighbors, their friends, people that they engage with in everyday stuff of life. Like, that's going to mean a lot more than anything else we can do. And so lower the bar by giving people the opportunity, giving people exactly what they need to make those invitations.
Do you know Thomas Rayner? Or Reiner?
Yeah.
So I was listening to a podcast over Thanksgiving break, and I had never heard the statistic before, and it was probably Barna or something like that. But he said the difference when you make an invitation for somebody, and he wasn't specifically talking about Christmas. He said when you invite someone to church, there is like a 15% chance that they will say yes when they come. However, if you invite them for coffee or dinner, either before or after, that percentage goes up to like 70%. And I say that because for Christmas, like if it's Christmas Eve or it's one of the other Christmas Eve services, like, don't just invite someone to come. Be intentional, like, hey, can we grab coffee or can we grab dinner beforehand? I mean, just the time at the table
for sure
is so
and
so
I've seen that
important.
be really successful with just general invitation to church, like come to lunch with me after, but on that note, like, just to personalize it even more, like, don't invite people just to come to church, like, invite people to come sit with you,
Exactly.
like, to come be with you, because that's such a big difference for people. Like, hey, you should try that, you should check this out, and then leaving it up to them to like figure it out. But to say like, hey, we're gonna come, I would love for you to come with me, sit with us. Our event, because just capacity wise, we like do tickets, they're free tickets, but we ask people to reserve ahead of time. So like, hey, I'm reserving tickets, I'd love for you to come with us, make it really actionable, but also really personal. And you're probably going to raise the chances that they're going to say yes.
And it's one of the reasons, again, why we program and plan for popular Christmas songs that aren't necessarily in the hymnal.
Yep.
Because we want our church people to be able to say when they invite someone for work, hey, our church is doing a Christmas program. And there's going to be some Christmas songs that we're going to sing together. There's some theatrical elements or dance. I'd love for you to come, and maybe we could have dinner beforehand or grab a cup of coffee afterward.
Yeah.
Like, it's an easy on-ramp.
Yep.
And it's so important. And certainly, use social media, use your website to do those things, but don't miss out on just printing an invitation with the dates and times, giving it to your congregation. Last thing I would say, I was blown away by this last year. You weren't here on staff yet, but a few weeks before, 2 or 3 weeks before Christmas, I preached a message called The Power of an Invitation. And it may have been, I don't know if it may have been like Andrew inviting, Andrew was the inviter.
Yeah.
He brought his brother Peter to Jesus. But I preached a message on it, and at the end spent the last 10, 15 minutes talking kind of about what we're here,
Yeah.
like giving vision to the church on how an invitation is so important. And I really believe like that percentage that we had of guests last year for our Christmas services was a large part because the congregation bought into it. And so just communicating to your congregation, hey, this is why we're doing it, and it's why it's so important that you invite someone. Here's the last encouragement that I would have. It's invite them back to something specific. Like if you get them in the room, don't miss the opportunity to invite them. Like have something that you want them to come back to.
Yeah, clear next steps to invite them to.
Like what's the next, like follow up is huge. Like make sure, like if there's any possible way you're getting names, you're getting email addresses or phone numbers, not where you're hounding them, but you want to know who's in the room and you want to be able to follow up or do a sermon series after the first of the year, or have something the following weekend that would be very attractive for them to come back. Let them know. Like sometimes we forget just to say, hey, we're glad that you're here. I know many of you are guests. We'd love to have you back next week, like not just this week. It's just really, really
Yeah.
important.
Yeah. I think that's one of the ways that we can drop the ball sometimes as church leaders, is we put so much energy into the event that we're inviting people to initially, especially around Christmas. This is how much work goes into it.
Yeah.
And the need to like take a break after
Right.
doing so much that we actually, the follow through ends up suffering. So we got to be really clear and really intentional about thinking through that before the event, so that we can give clear pathways for people to continue to engage. They've responded to that first invitation, and now there's a chance to bring them back with another invitation to really be part of the family of the church, and to continue to experience community. And for those who maybe there's been a spark from Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
they have a chance to continue to cultivate that through the church. And so we got to be intentional about that for sure.
So this is a good segue. I mean, you just brought it up and said that it's a really busy time of the year, and I want to take a minute. I know, again, most of the people listening to this, a lot of them attend ACAC. Many aren't necessarily in leadership at a church, and we spend a lot of time directing it towards. But if you're still tuned in and listening to this, and you're just an average congregation person, if you will, I want to help you understand the burden that falls on creatives during Christmas. Like you and I have both experienced this, but I know your average churchgoer recognizes the commitment and the work that goes into it, but I don't think they really. And so I want to first paint a picture of what worship leaders, musicians, creatives, your communication team, like your creative people that are doing the work for these services, what they're going through. And then I just want to speak encouragement to them.
Yep.
When I was a worship pastor, the church I was at, I think in the peak years, we had 13 Christmas Eve services. We did like 4 over the course of 3 to 5 days. And again, once you get to that date, like for us at ACAC, we're doing 8. When you get to December 22nd, that's the easy part.
Yep.
Like going through the songs. I mean, you look, it's all of the work. It's
all the preparation, it's the planning, it's the putting stages together, it's the practicing, it's the making sure everything's working. It's plotting out how people are going to be engaged throughout the entire building.
And what people forget is that all of this is happening during a time where those teams still have to do regular Sunday services.
Yeah.
So your worship pastors, your musicians, your teams, your audio, your lighting, they are doing all of the job that they normally would do, getting ready for your weekend services.
Yep.
And rehearsing for that, and your volunteer teams that are doing that. All on top of that, learning songs, which you and I both know, Christmas songs aren't easy to play.
Nope.
They're not easy to remember. They're learning that, they're rehearsing that, they're doing that. And oh, by the way, this is happening in December, when there are family Christmas parties, like
Kids concerts. Like, I mean, it's just the
all of
busiest
that.
time.
Like
Yeah.
I think back I think back to how many Christmas parties that I just had to say no to. It was on a Friday night or a Thursday night where I say, honey, I can't go because I've got a rehearsal. So while it's a season that most people are working less in their jobs,
Yeah.
creative and worship arts in churches are working more.
Yeah, my wife used to when we got married, and some of this she would do with me, but we at one point I was working at a church where I was responsible for some of the services, but not all the services. So she would help in some of the services, but also she would be without me for
Yeah.
much of the Christmas season, and she started hosting like a single pastors' wives dinner on Christmas Eve because after they attended the first service or whatever, like they just knew like spouses would be all, and so friends and family, spouses of those who were working under service, they were getting together because they were otherwise alone
Yeah.
during a season that is meant to be like a really big family season for
Mhm.
people. And so those are sacrifices that we know that we're making when we sign up for the work that we do, but it is a heavy season
Mhm.
for church leaders, church creatives, that is often unseen. I've seen in our services, we get done with 3 services on a Sunday right now, and then like I walk back into the sanctuary to grab my my backpack, my materials, and like they're setting up for like practice and
They're
rehearsals,
practicing
and
Christmas.
they're
Yeah.
doing more, and it's like there's a lot of unseen work that goes into making an experience for everyone to really enjoy the Christmas season, and man, we honor that.
I remember getting home on Christmas Eve, and our team will do this. I mean, our last service, I think, is we moved it up earlier, so this wasn't the case. But I remember getting home like 9 o'clock at night and just being exhausted, and I'm not physically or emotionally able to. I just remember wrestling with that and the
Yeah.
tension of not being able to give, my wife's wrapping all of the Christmas Eve presents, or
Yeah.
like my kids open a gift and I go, "Oh, I didn't know we got you that," because she was doing Christmas shopping. And I don't say that I don't want people to feel sorry for our worship or creatives team. They do it because they love it. It is a
Yeah.
calling, and they understand the magnitude of the work that they're doing. I just say it to paint the reality of that. So
Yeah.
with that, like, let's encourage. Like, if somebody's listening to this right now, Emma and Kenny are here. How can we, like, what are some healthy boundaries maybe, or what are some things, like, let's speak to the creatives who are in those Christmas seasons. Any
Well, number one,
encouragement?
I would just say like your work matters. Like what you're
Mhm.
doing will have ripples in the kingdom,
Absolutely.
because there's gonna be someone who experience. I can't think of a Christmas season in my 20 years of ministry where there haven't been people who have been deeply engaged by something that happened on on in a Christmas service. Whether it was just simply, I remember a couple of years ago, a woman, they hadn't been in a church in 18 years because of church hurt, and they showed up to a Christmas service on the invitation of a friend, and they came, and something broke open in them, and like the Lord just like warmed her heart in a way that like she never left it. Like she's still there, and like whatever pains there began to melt away because she responded to an invitation, and what happened in the service touched her in a way that was deeply meaningful. And I can think of dozens of those stories year after year that happened. And so your work matters. The
Mhm.
what you put into this, that investment is going to multiply in the kingdom. But I would also say that you're not doing the work of the Messiah. You're not saving.
That's right.
And so you're putting people in position to have an experience, and that's important. But the decisions you make aren't ultimately doing the work of the Spirit, right? And so we have to remember that we're not the Savior. The Trinity is not looking for more members. My wife reminds me of that every
That's
Christmas
good.
season.
I feel like that should be on a t-shirt. The Trinity is not looking for more members. That's
There's
pretty
no
good.
recruitment happening with the Trinity. So um, I think that's a really important thing to remember. Like, yes, these are important creative decisions, but like we're not responsible for saving someone.
Yeah, I'm a recovering perfectionist, so I a lot of creatives are perfectionists. And again, this isn't to say we shouldn't plan, prepare, rehearse. We need to do things with excellence. I'm 100% there on that. However, I always, you probably do too, tell grooms and brides before the day of their wedding, something is going to go wrong.
Yep.
Like, just expect it.
Yep.
And it's okay.
And it's okay.
Like, there's so many creatives. Again, attention to detail, so important. Preparation, so important. Learning the music and having cues and all of that's so important. But just know that there's going to be a tech issue. Like,
Yep.
Something's going to happen, and let yourself off the hook with that.
Yeah.
Again, you said it. It's the work of the Spirit is not dependent upon us hitting every note perfectly.
Yep.
It's not dependent upon every cue being done to perfection.
Yeah, and most of us have to learn that over time. It's not.
Yeah.
It doesn't come easy for us who are creative.
I think I read somewhere that it's in our weakness He is made strong, and that is true, even at Christmas. I think delegating and empowering is really important, especially for those who lead teams. I mean, this is a season where oftentimes, whether it's hospitality or worship, there are lots of volunteers, and too often in church leadership, we don't empower those who aren't paid staff, if you will. And I think it's Christmas is a wonderful season to empower core leaders and let them make decisions. And just like you were saying, hey, often say yes, just empower others. Don't feel like you've got to be the one to do everything.
Yeah, and I think empowering. I also think one of the ways, and this might be more to your average congregation member and to maybe senior leaders who haven't been creatives in the past. I think creating space and boundaries for protecting your staff and your creatives by putting boundaries in place is super helpful. If you know this is going to be a crazy season, that we need to be intentional and fight for time off and space for recovery and rest. I'm really grateful this year that we're filming our post-Christmas service.
Yeah. So we've not announced that. I'm
yeah.
glad you brought that up.
This is new for us.
Yeah. Can I interject here?
Yeah.
So this is new. And again, if you're a part of ACAC and you may be hearing this for the first time, this is a great opportunity for us to explain why. We are not having on-site church services the weekend after Christmas. And we've never done this before. I'm sure there's going to be some people on that Sunday morning that are going to struggle. I wish ACAC had its doors open for on-site services. Here's why we're not.
Yeah.
I believe that one of the greatest gifts we can give, not just to our creative and worship staff, but to all of our church staff in this season, is a day off. And I'm not talking about you and I, because you and I would, I mean, you could lead worship and I preach, or I could lead worship and you preach.
Just be the two of us.
But it's not even that. Oftentimes, and I was guilty of this for years. Well, let's just simplify things.
Yeah.
And let's just really simple. Well, the fact is, as much as you want to simplify it, your facilities team still has to be here early to open the doors. You still have to have a clean place. You're still going to have childcare. Somebody is going to have to run the audio board. Someone's going to have to turn on the lights. Someone's going to have to run the slides. And so by the time and next thing you know, it's all of that. And so, yeah, we made a conscious decision. You and I are going to stream, and I'm really actually excited about what we're going to be streaming on that Sunday, kind of a year in review and looking at what God did here. But we're being intentional about the recovery, saying, hey, we had 8 services over 4 days, and literally there will be thousands of people that come through these doors, and we're going to pour out our heart gladly. But now we're going to take a Sabbath. And to do that, and I'm really looking forward to it. But
I think it's so healthy.
It is
I know that there are a lot of people that feel strongly in a lot of ways about different angles of that kind of decision. But I would just say when your team is showing up and offering so much of themselves to making such a big sacrifice, I believe it's God honoring to provide that kind of space and Sabbath for rest and recovery, because the Lord doesn't need us to do the work that we do to do what he does. And I think, for us to be able to have the time to recover and the time to rest in the
Mhm.
Lord and just enjoy what we've been able to be part of, like, is going to actually help us re-engage as the new year starts, with a lot of joy and passion for what God has done over that season.
Yeah. Well, let us just encourage, like, again, if you're a creative or worship person, listen to this. I personally am just so thankful for what you do. You're a gift to the body of Christ. I know you're a gift to your church. I thought we could end this episode. Again, this is going to be a little more specific. But you've been a lead pastor. I'm a lead pastor. We've both been creatives. An encouragement to the lead pastors. Again, I know I'm narrowing the window here of how they can be that encouragement to their creative teams this Christmas season. What comes to mind?
Yeah, I think just affirmation. Again, a lot of the work, especially the preparation of the season, is unseen
Mhm.
by most people. It's even sometimes unseen to us because we're not in every rehearsal,
Yeah.
we're not in every planning meeting necessarily. And so there may be things that are missed. So I just think the more we can be verbal in our affirmation and appreciation of people in this season, that I see the work that you're doing, like, that's incredible. This really matters. I really appreciate you for who you are. I think those kind of things really do matter.
Mhm.
People, a lot of people. I mean, we're both words of affirmation people, but I think most people are. Uh, Most people want all the love languages, like, So
Yeah.
I think there's something to that where even though it's unseen, that we are making it known that we honor
Yeah.
those who are doing that work.
I mean, I would say, whether we just talked about how we're not having church service, whether you do that or not, give them recovery time
Mhm.
and leave them alone. Like,
Mhm.
like just genuinely, like if you can give them a few days off or that following week and then don't hit up their inbox, don't hit up their text, really make that and emphasize it to them, like communicate, like say, hey, I see you, I see how hard you worked. This isn't vacation time.
Yeah,
Like you've put in the extra. We're not. This isn't PTO for you.
yeah,
Like I want you to be with your family. The last thing I would say too is encourage their families.
yeah.
Like just like if it's the worship pastor's spouse or your audio director's spouse to say, or their kids, hey, thanks for sharing your mom, your dad. Thanks for sharing your spouse. I know it's not easy.
Yeah.
Like just acknowledging that goes a long way.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that this is a season where, I mean, people anytime there's a chance to just, I think, affirm and honor people and speak well of people, not just behind their back, but in front of their face.
Yeah.
It's really encouraging to people. And so yeah, I think that all of the things we're talking about help protect creatives and give them space to flourish in this season.
Mhm.
And we as creative people are for the creatives.
Yeah. Well, hey, on that note, I do want to say thank you to Emma
Yes.
and thank you to Kenny.
Yes.
Round of applause, Kenny. Maybe you can throw in some like applause there. Like
Yeah.
during this busy Christmas season, they were willing to film
This
our
bonus episode.
this bonus episode, and this really is our last episode for season 1. It's been awesome,
This is the
man.
post-credits scene of our
Yeah,
season
it's
1
really
of
been
Here We
awesome.
Go.
Thank you for listening and tuning in, whether you're watching on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. If you missed one of the episodes, they're all available now. 8. Help us out by sharing them, social media, text them to your friends, give us your feedback. You can hit us up at herewegoacac.net and give us your maybe podcasts, theme ideas. And don't forget to vote for
Mount
our
Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, bro.